They'll be calling you a radical, Kevin Blanch, here in Ogden, Utah. So I'll be in Monterey tomorrow. So I'll be there for a week. I'll be with Steinbeck and Doc Ricketts. And because I've had to become the pseudo de facto, well, not even pseudo facto, I've had to become the marine biologist because they refuse to do their job. Just like all these people that make a living off other people's taxes here in Utah. They refuse to do their job. They think they get these jobs and they pay themselves, county commissioners, freaking fire chiefs, police chiefs, all these people, hundreds of thousands of dollars. And there's just royalty. They don't have to do their job. They don't have to police the environment. You know, all these, Gina McCarthy, the EPA. I want to talk about Standing Rock, and I'm going to talk about all the death of the Pacific Ocean thing. I was threatened yesterday right over here by a high-ranking Weber County public official. I was threatened in public with multiple witnesses. You know, and then, because I want people to know this. So I show up to all public hearings. I participate in my community. I participate all over. In the NRC, the Nuclear Regulatory Committee, if you look at these political theater, whatever, these major decisions that get made in our community, like nuclear waste coming to Utah. These are major that affect every single living person. That's why we have public forums. People show up. Look, this whole 3-minute clock bullshit that they put in the is bullshit. That's what they're for. It's like I go to a political rally, Bernie Sanders, people say, don't raise your voice at a political theater? Like I was at the Trump rally here. You know, Fox News is interviewing me and whatever, and they report that there was fights there. No, there was not fights there. Two groups yelling and screaming at each other. That's what you do at political rallies. That's what you do in the public forum. The heated debate, that's what, on the floor, you know, you have these heated debates. You raise your voice. That's what they're for. You know, I go to the NRC things, I raise my voice. It gets, it gets pretty intense. It can get pretty radical, but that's what they're for. You know, so then, after you go be communal with them, let's go have a beer, let's go to dinner, that's how civil people freaking operate. That's how we get things done. That's what the First Amendment of this country is all about. You just want to Johnny get your gun. And, the whole dynamic is just hate thy neighbor, hate that neighbor. Look, the gang violence was manufactured. The left-right dynamic is manufactured. All this is totally manufactured. Hate thy neighbor? The Million Mass March, my gig post-ignorance, as we get out into the community. We have, to the farthest you can get to the right, to the farthest you can get to the left, the whole thing. People love each other. That's just the way people are. People are very communal. They've manufactured this hate. Don't you love all their answers cost you money? Go buy you an AK-47, some guns, go buy you a bunker, everything. Everything costs you money, and makes you hate thy neighbor. Until you know your neighbor, until you can become communal, until you can act, you need to raise your voice, and you need to be loud, and you need to be intense. This whole passive-aggressive, first guy that raises his voice loses the argument is bullshit. Now, I want to talk about Standing Rock. Look, if you think that Obama has stopped Standing Rock, wink, wink, nod, nod, this is how he plays. British Petroleum, let it go on for weeks and weeks and weeks and weeks. Poison. Let them dispersement for months and destroy it. Let British Petroleum seal off public beaches, corporate, and take over the whole thing. Okay, let's go on. How about Porter Ranch? Let it go on for months and months and months and months. How about Standing Rock? Standing Rock's been going on for years. I've been there many times over the years, It's like yesterday when this public official, threatened me in public with multiple witnesses. They make a living off other people's taxes. I don't. And so he calls, the bailiff up on. Well, the bailiff's Shoshone. She's 100% Native. She knows me. She's like, what are you talking about? Kevin doesn't do anything wrong. I've been with Kevin at the Standing Rock protests, here that we have here. No, he's great. It's amazing to me, the arrogance. So let's back to Obama. How about, so he just plays this game, just kicks the can. He's just buying his time. His Exelon freaking puppets, that's all he's ever done. He hasn't accomplished anything. But let's talk about his crowning jewel, Fukushima. Let it go on for, Fukushima's been going on for 2,100 days. Killing the Pacific Ocean. The salmon have collapsed acutely. It's amazing to me that, and I'll say this about Trump. I went to school right there, my place, Weber State, when the legendary finance professor Clyde Cooley was there. When I graduated, with a number of school businesses in the country. I taught there. As an adjunct professor, I did a lot of work there. in the spirit of Fawn McKay Brody, you know, in the spirit of, you know, so many great environmentalists that came in front of me, that taught me, you know. How about Edward Abbey? I mean, you think he was radical? I mean, come on. And so, Trump, I mean, it's pretty crazy dichotomy is Trump. Because Wharton and Weber State were neck and neck. #1 school business every year out. We would go back there, they would come here. You know, they're Hamiltonians. We taught Hamiltonian. We're Hamiltonians. You know, so here you got Trump. He's very educated on the education. Is he self-entitled? Grotesquely. I mean, his self-entitlement, especially with his sexuality, is beyond disturbing. But let's get real. So you've got this incredible social neoconservative. He's socially to the far radical right, and then on the left he's a Hamiltonian progressive liberal as far as economics go. So we got the hippycrits on the left, we got the neocon Kool-Aid drinkers on the right that really think that Obama's blocked Standing Rock. Wink wink. No, he's not. We'll see how this plays out, but you know, no changes are permanent, and the death of the Pacific Ocean, the salmon have collapsed very acutely. Just like I said, the Prophet Blanch said, you know, I'm an environmentalist, I'm an activist, you know. Remember, I got cancer 5 years ago. I was given 2 months to live. I mean, I don't think people have any clue. So how many people have been in this site fighting for their lives with cancer? That's how this site has evolved. It's evolved because of, I mean, there have been hundreds, if not thousands and thousands of people fighting for their lives with very acute, hardcore, radical cancers. The type of cancer I had, less than 1% survival. And I'm a broken record? Of course I'm a broken record. Because, you know, we accomplish nothing. Until you can become communal and understand your neighbor and accept your neighbor and your freaking thing and be out in community, you know, this whole hate, you know, left, right, freaking, you know, Johnny got his gun. Nobody wants to steal your Walmart junk. Until we can become a community again. This place was a community. I mean, we had community farms in Utah. That's what the Mormons did. This, you know, this whole country was communal until the last 30 years. I will quote John Steinbeck because I'll be in Steinbeck's place tomorrow. I'll be at Steinbeck's place tomorrow with Doc Ricketts. We'll be at Doc Ricketts. I'll be there for 8 days. And, you know, we'll do all our work out on the infamous tide pools, the exact ones that Doc Ricketts did. We'll be at his place, all of it. I'll be there for 8 days doing work, documenting the death of the Pacific Ocean via Fukushima. Fukushima, Fuktonium as I called it, this energy went in, it broke the fucking chain. It broke the fucking chain. I said it day one, it's going to break the eco chain, Doc Ricketts. And the krill went, the shrimp got, the anchovies went, the sardines went, now the salmons go. Big fish eat little fish. Dead whales, it's the most acute collapse to an ecology in human history, bar none. Hundreds of millions of trees dead, you know. I mean, it's a catastrophe. It's the greatest ecological catastrophe in human history. But Obama, you know, kick the can. Okay, yeah, he's stopped Standing Rock. Wink, wink, yeah, sure he has. You know, so I'll be there and I'll quote Steinbeck because I'll be with him. I'll quote Steinbeck. Tim shall thou mayest, of course, I always quote that, but John Steinbeck, Grapes of Wrath, as I call this, you know, the molded grapes of wrath. We simply went from the we to the I. Kevin Blanch, we simply went from the we to the I to the capital we, 1945 to 1980, to the capital I, me, that's all this has been. You seen the debt lately? You know, look it up. You know, I'll post it for you. I'll tag the debtclock.org in this. You know, we've destroyed ourselves. I mean, made each other hate each other until you can accept each other and be a community again. I mean, it's all manufactured. It's all manufactured. Reagan, H. Bush, you know, Bill Walmart Clinton. I mean, my God. Trump's right on tariffs. He's right on tariffs. He's wrong on hate. You know, his social, I don't know where it comes, well, come on, he's a pompous, spoiled rotten Mitt Romney billionaire born with a silver freaking slumlord spoon up his ass. His self-entitlement with sexuality and females, he would have never had one girl in his whole life that ever would have even considered sleeping with it if it wasn't for his wealth, his money. Think about the female that goes there. I mean, really, how disgusting and disturbing. You know, I think it's outrageous, his, you know, statements and his sexual freaking predator that he's done already. Disgusting, but he's right on tariffs. But, you know, his whole GOP is going to fight him freaking. I mean, it's quite a dichotomy. It's an amazing story that you can have a social, hard right conservative and in the same brain, in the same mind, as I taught for years and years. You know, you got social liberals that are usually Hamiltonians, progressive, historically. And then on the right, you got free market fairy tales that have been totally manufactured into the freaking, you know, John Birch Society dogma eaters who've exploited with their thing. Those two fit, you know, and they fit and they've been exploited. But then you get, I mean, I used to teach and I'd get certain people that were social, you know, a little bit here and there, nuance, but I've never in my life, ever. And I taught for years and I, you know, involved in the economic thesis, in the whole finance thesis and my whole evolution as my life. You know, I had a hawk and trowel in my hand. I have 10,000 jobs in this valley. You know, I'm no academician, but I am an academic. I'm a worker. I mean, physically. You know, the tree in the Children's Museum, the Masonic Temple, hand chiseled, hung from a rope. One guy. I mean, 10,000 jobs. You ought to see me with a hawk and trowel. All these houses up in here. You know, I was given 2 months to live right there at McQuack D. Right there, as I sat in a room 5 years ago and told me it was over. I'm looking up here at all these freaking hundreds of houses that I stuccoed and plastered. 10,000 jobs. 10,000. 10,000 jobs. Now you think about that. 10,000. With my hands. You know, not just some exploited crew. I never exploited labor. Ever. 10,000. You know, but something happened along to that place. You know, they threw an American nuclearism flag in my face. I got cancer. And so, you know, it's been an incredible battle for 5 years, but you know, we got a social, very awkward, very disturbing, far, you know, I mean, I don't even know what you'd call it. He's a social conservative that is a progressive liberal when it comes to economics. So socially, he's far to the right. He's all the way to the left, progressive. He's a Hamiltonian, which is amazing. I can sing and dance. I'm a butcher, what's a cow? I'm a baker, what's a cake? I'm an environmentalist. I'm a human rights activist, what's Fukushima? You know, I'm a fisherman, what's a boat? You know, so stay tuned. See you in Monterey tomorrow. You know, until we can become communal again, we can become we. You know, we had communal farms in this place when I was a boy. They didn't go away. My grandfather's the guy that invented them. My great-great-grandfather. You know, my grandfather the fourth. So, you know, this whole dichotomy that where we hate each other and free market fairy tales and this whole, you know, non-communal has all been manufactured since the gang violence was manufactured. The hatred's manufactured. It's all manufactured through television, through, not me. I don't fall for it. You know, I love everybody. You know, and people that have come into my events and they meet, you know, and they're in the streets, they'll tell you just that. You know, how fun it is and how communal and how great it is. And, you know, our activism, we make our activism fun and communal, and we make a lot of beautiful, I mean, people have got married through me. I know 3 different kids, 3 different, that people I've introduced to each other that have had children that named the children after me. And, you know, so, you know, I bridge divides. I'm a dogma burger buster. I rip your dogma snuggie off, you know, and out in the street, that's where we meet. The great collapse of the Pacific Ocean. I'll be documenting it. So I'll see you in Monterey tomorrow. I'll be there for a week. Ooh, that smell on Carmel. Dead Wells. Stay tuned.